So Skip, we've been talking about creating a safe church policy, and let's assume that a church has done that and they have trained their workers and they've got a plan in place. Have you ever seen any chinks in that armor, even despite everyone's best intentions about a potential problem?
Yeah, I think there are many chinks that we need to be attentive to, and many ways in which we can be wrong if we begin to get complacent about the importance of these issues and the importance of boundaries. But I want to respond to your really good question with just one that is uncomfortable to articulate and uncomfortable to hear. I think, oddly, one of the banana peels that can be riskiest is the complacency that might come to a man or woman who's doing youth work, who has very high values, very high boundaries, is a good ethically centered person who presumes that because only a person with unhealthy inclinations or perverted interests would ever have a relationship with someone underage, they're safe and immune because they would never do such a thing. What that ignores is it ignores too often two elements that I think are out there in the lived experience of human beings who do youth work. One of them is that the idea that since it's inappropriate, it would be unnatural creates too much of a sense of invulnerability. God didn't actually make us so that 22, 25, 28-year-olds are never attracted to 18-year-olds, or 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds to 25, 26, 27-year-olds. We would be better off if we understood however healthy and well-bounded we are, there's always a swirling pool of potential attractions that don't make boundaries less important, they make them more important. The other weakness that can come into play, particularly when you have some young youth leaders, is, and by young, 22, 25, 26, there can be a tendency to maybe they're doing a little bit of math. Well, it would be inappropriate for me to have a relationship with Sue or Bob, who's 18 years old, but you know, when they go to college next year, they'll be a college student, they'll be 19, and I'm a grad student or college student in the same university. Maybe I'll have a relationship then. And I'm gonna be good now and mind my boundaries, but it would be okay then. And that creates two real risks, that the relationship starts to take on a flirty glow that's inappropriate at the moment in high school, and it ignores the fact that, you know, it's not gonna be appropriate later. Since the relationship grew out of this power disbalance and this sense of authority and maybe someone looking up to you because you were the coolest youth minister they'd ever meet, it will never be a relationship of equals later, and it'll never be appropriate. I think the way to think about both these issues is a little rubric we had, which was we'd share with our youth ministers, there are hundreds of millions of people on the planet that you might be attracted to and with whom you might appropriately pursue a romantic or sexual relationship. There are 36 people on the planet that are not appropriate now and will never be appropriate. You just have to turn your attentions to this bright boundary between, this bright line between the hundreds of millions that you might find interesting and these 36 who are never going to be appropriate objects of your attention.